I have a cause for celebratory noises.
Yay! What's that then?
Battlebots 2020, baby.
Woo!
I knew that last week. Get it? Last week.
Oh, get your coat. Not my Hypershock jacket. Your
I'm so
coat.
sick of that joke.
Any other news?
Nelly will be on Battlebots 2020, and Hypershock is her sugar daddy.
I knew that too.
Also, all the Brit flippers.
And that.
Fucking coronavirus.
Yeah, that can fuck off.
Also, Winston Churchill.
Oh, I've seen that. It looks like it'll be a laugh, if nothing else. Can't wait.
Oh, and by the way, Greg Munson's on the Shuntcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, what? You never told me that.
Oops, sorry. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
How are you doing, Mr. Munson?
I'm all right, considering it's 8:30 in the morning here in sort of gray, foggy Northern California. So if I sound a little gray, foggy, that's just because it's early in the morning. This
A
is
little groggy, you might say. Oh,
dear.
Groggy Munson.
Groggy Munson. Okay, so we have Grog Munson on the show, ladies and gentlebots. So I guess the obvious first question is, how excited are you for BattleBots?
Oh, come on. I'm super excited. It's going to be rad. Biggest season ever, right? I mean, Discovery goes from 32 hours to 50 hours, 2.5-hour episodes, 20, 2.5-hour episodes. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 80, at this point, 82 robots. I mean, come on. It's mind-blowing.
That is a crazy amount of robots. It's going to be busy in the pits.
It'll be crazy busy. The good news is, the building that we've had for the last 2 seasons is fantastic. Plenty of growing room, so we'll be all right. We'll do it. It'll be good.
Now, I know you went on Behind the Bots recently, and you talked about some of the robots that have been revealed, but that was a couple of weeks ago, and we've had a lot more robots revealed since then. Yes. One of which I mentioned earlier in the intro, Winston Churchill.
Yes.
You've seen its trailer. Can I just say what a fantastic piece?
Yeah, we shared that on the BattleBots Facebook page. I thought it was really great. And I can't wait to see what those guys are up to and what they bring to the box. That should be a lot of fun.
I also think that a shout out should be given to Mammoth's trailer as well.
No, okay, Mammoth's trailer was the best, should win an Academy Award. It was so good. I literally, when I watched this thing, I'm like, I almost started to weep openly because it was so good. It's like, it's just fantastic. I can't, Ricky, that dude's got talent. Did he edit that thing?
I think it may have been Bryce. I think he's the video person on the team. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the team, everyone who's watching, who hasn't watched that trailer yet, needs to go watch it. And the team that did it are fantastic. Those guys are talented, so that was a great job.
They are, and Mammoth is the absolute unit of BattleBots, and I don't think anything is ever going to take that title away from it.
No, and I'm excited to see, because Mammoth learned a lot from last season, and I think Ricky and his team are taking that to heart big time. And I think we're going to be surprised by. I hope we're surprised by how well Mammoth does this season. I have good hopes for Mammoth kicking some butt this season.
I mean, from the video, its weapon. I want to petition you for a new weapon name here. By the way, I want it to be called a yeeter.
A yeeter.
Or a yeeter, right? Or a punter, right? Because it's not a flipper. It's not a spinner. It's an I don't know what. It's a rotary flipper. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a rotary flipper. Exactly. I'm writing that down. I'm actually making the event program where it describes what all the weapons are. So I like that.
Okay, so credit that to me, please.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't take credit for it. I think actually it was Orion who said that. Maybe.
That's a good way. That's a good one. I like it.
But yeah, I mean, it's rotary flipper, shall we say, or it's yeeter, looks insane. It really does. It looks like there's a lot more power behind that this year.
Yeah, and it's just such. I love these designs that are simple but effective. And last year we saw it be very effective against the axe backwards fight, but not so much in the other fights. But the wheels are turning. They're back there in the pit. They're thinking what they did wrong, and it appears that they have put that brain power into improving the bot and fixing those little problems that'll make the bot way more effective this season. So I'm excited.
You know who Mammoth needs to fight, because the audience cried that we didn't get this fight last season.
Oh, does that need to fight Nelly?
It does need to fight Nelly, Greg.
Well, I shall have a talk with Mr. Catling about that. We shall see.
It's been a social media rivalry for over a year. We have to play this out. It's Battlebots canon, Greg. You have to. Okay, also, speaking of absolute unit robots, Shunt Posting is in love with this robot. It's called Smee! I hope I got the right number of E's there for you, Joe, if you're listening.
You missed 3.
Sorry, E!
No, Smee is, so we get about 500, there's the application website where people go and they submit their applications to BattleBots and they upload photos and videos and whatnot. And I'm looking through it to get ready for the 2020 season. I sort of take the first pass at it. And then I come upon this robot called Smee, and it's like, what the hell is this thing? And first I'm thinking like, I almost passed by it because I'm thinking, oh, come on, it's just a wedge. But then I look further and it can actually curve and grapple in and encompass its faux robot.
You can hug it to death.
Death, exactly. It's fantastic. And then I spoke with the builder and I'm like, okay, but it can't just be a wedge. And then so he put on these little spinning spinners at the ends of it. These little disc spinners at the ends of it.
Good.
So the whole idea would be it grabs you, hugs you, and then just slices into you with these two spinners.
It grabs you, hugs you, and bites you. I love it.
It gives you little love bites. I think it's a great design. I'm totally excited to see it. I really, 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 really hope that it does what we all think it's going to do and not just, wedge people around the box. That's what
you know what it's going to be either way. It's going to be an absolute meme lord.
Probably, yes.
Which is what we care about on Shunt Posting. I don't know if you're familiar with a British comedy called Red Dwarf, but many British people are, and people who like Robot Wars, most of them probably know about Red Dwarf because Craig Charles, the presenter of Robot Wars, was in this comedy. And there's this famous moment when Crichton, the robot in Red Dwarf, tries to call Arnold Rimmer a smeghead, but because of his computer programming, he can't be rude to humans. So he's trying to break the programming and he can't quite do it. And it's Smee, he. And if there are not smeghead memes of Smee with Crichton, I will be sad.
Is that where Smee got his name from?
I don't think so. Or at least I'm not sure. I mean, the other immediate thought of mine is Smee, as in Captain Hook's buddy in Peter Pan.
Peter Pan? Who was that? I don't remember.
Smee is the short, overweight guy with the blue top and the little bobble hat.
Oh.
The one that talks with a stutter.
It's been a long time. Well, if you know in the comments.
Yes.
I will investigate. What is the origin of the name of Smee? I will find this out for the next Shuntcast.
Yeah. And we'll find out on set. It'll be an interesting story.
Get your little journalists on it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so new rules. We're gonna delve into new rules territory.
Okay.
The Deep Six rule is hilarious.
I don't mind everyone calling it the Deep Six rule, but it's more like the Walker don't get away with extra stuff rule.
Okay.
Because you got, as everyone knows, now is the first year we're finally allowing true walkers to have a weight bonus, 500 pounds, up to 500 pounds. You got to submit a design proposal. You have to prove that it's actually a walker and not some sort of shuffler or just a cam system. It's got to be real walker. And we're happy to give you a weight bonus for that. But what we're not happy to do is allow you to make a little teeny walking base and a giant frickin' spinner. Right. Because that's just sort of not fair. No. So Trey and I and the rule guys thought, okay, so let's set the weight limit. What's the upper weight limit right now? It's about 80 pounds. And then on the cage spinner, it's about 120, or the full body spinners, it's about 120. So we just called it there. And the Deep Six part of it, which has validity, is like at a certain point, there's just like, what are you going to do to the other robot?
You saw what happened to Nelly.
Well, exactly. So you probably, you don't need 80 pounds or 90 pounds to do what you did to any robot, what happened to Nelly. And all you're going to do now is wreck the floor, hurt the spike rail, and just cause hours and hours and hours and hours of the crew bots saying, at the arena till like 3 a.m, fixing, welding, grinding, bondoing, da 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 da. So it is kind of a deep six rule, but it's more of a Walker fairness rule.
Okay. There was me thinking that all of the BattleBots producers felt really sorry for Nelly and were trying to give her an easier time, and you've just broken my heart, Greg.
No, that was considered for maybe 5 seconds.
Burn, Nelly, burn. Okay, so speaking of rules, Dale and I have thought of some new rules for BattleBots, and it's not too late because filming hasn't happened yet, right?
All
so
right.
we have some propositions for you, and you can tell us yes or no. Okay. First and foremost, and I feel this is the obvious one, Al Kindle must henceforth win all judges' decisions.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay. You heard that, Al. Okay, secondly, and equally importantly, incels are banned from watching chomp fights.
Oh God. Oh God. But that kind of all the negative chomp comments sort of make it fun, and I mean I get mad at them just as like everyone else does, but it sort of makes it fun because it's like, come on, dude, are you serious?
It's not fun when you're on the receiving end of it, though, is it?
No, probably not. But I mean, Zoe has always kept a stiff up. Has always had. She just lets that stuff fall right off her back and just keeps going stronger and stronger. And of course, what she's bringing with Yasha to BattleBots 2020, I think will blow people's minds.
Oh, I think it is as well. It looks insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
I've seen the final CAD files, which I cannot share because that'll be a surprise for everybody.
Of course.
But it's crazy.
Yay. We like crazy.
Yes.
Okay, next up is electromagnetic gyroscopic force pulses must be a valid weapon type.
What does it do?
It does the thing.
Okay.
We thought this through. Okay, this one's easy for you, Greg, because I know you're going to take my side on this one. Purple robots get automatic placement in the top 16.
At least one. You got to have a good mixology in the top 16. You have to have some spinners. You got to have some lifters. You got to have a different, mix of the robots. Can't just all be spinners. And of course, you have to have purple.
Yes.
The captain of Bite Force must henceforth be renamed to Paul Venti Frappuccino.
I love that, and we shall now make that canon.
Excellent. Trey must relinquish his hatred of wedges.
Oh, but why?
I don't know. There's a suggestion sent in by the group members.
Nah. The problem is if you relinquish the not the hatred, but just sort of the fact that you got to bring something else besides pushing someone. I think that's for real. You can't just win the sport by pushing someone into a corner and breaking them. You got to have a weapon that does something. We've lived through it. Years of the early BattleBots and having Law Machine and the whole deal. It gets boring after a while. You got to have a weapon that does something cool.
This is true.
Non-negotiable.
You heard it, Jump Posting. This is non-negotiable.
I just want to go on record saying that I really hope the SMEs and the British flippers. I know the British flippers will not just wedge people around, but there's a lot of robots that are lifters and wedges coming to BattleBots this season, which is really exciting because there's been so much domination by spinners, and this year we have a lot more variety, which is great. But I really, really, really hope that the more wedge-like robots that flip and grab and grapple and do other things actually do that and not try to win just by pushing someone into the corner and pushing someone around. So fingers crossed on that.
You do know that you are going to have an absolute fanboy showdown on your hands if you have Orion versus Hydra, because the Brit Flipper fanboys are wanting that fight. And you know that Americans and British people like to have a bit of a rivalry every now and then. there is rivalry for who is the superior flipper, because the US is sort of known for being more dominant with spinners, and the UK is more known for being dominant with flippers. So there's this point to prove for the British flippers going to Battlebots this season. And honestly, you're gonna have the fanboys will go absolutely insane if you have Orion versus Hydra.
Well, there's a reason why we finally got the British flippers on. Is because of what you just said. So now it's time to prove what they can do, and we shall see. But your fight cards are noted, and you should remind me when we get to the event.
I should totally do that. The one that's missing is Eruption. But there's salt about Eruption not being there, but Orion's there, and Orion's got a title as well. So
yeah, there's always 2021.
There is. This is true. We're going to move on to the Shunt Posting Awards, Greg.
Okay.
Now
it is early, so my creativity level is on the floor right now. So, but go ahead.
That's okay. We're nerds. We'll help.
Okay, good.
Okay, so the first award we normally do on a Shuntcast is the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award, but there's no episode right now, so you've been in robot fighting a long time. You will have seen plenty of good hits in your time. Can you think of one that you would say was your all-time favorite good hit?
There's so many. It's hard to pinpoint. One that comes to mind is back in the Comedy Central days. Somebody brought a Lego robot, and you can imagine how utterly destroyed the whole thing got by its opponent. I forget who its opponent was, but that was a good hit because it was basically little Lego bits all over the arena that probably took 20 minutes to clean up. And it actually got hit by the pulverizer at one time. So like splitch, 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 Lego everywhere. It was hilarious.
Can you think of one from modern
times? I loved it when Bronco put Sawblaze 16 feet in the air. It just kind of right up the Lexand, almost like Sawblaze was driving up the Lexand. I thought that was fantastic. That was a good hit. Yeah, there's so many.
Right.
What is your?
There we go. We'll give it to we'll give it to that. I mean, it's your choice. So congratulations, Bronco. Woo! Using Greg Munson's Good Hit of the Night Award. Way. Oh, what would mine be? Dale, what have I got excited about on previous Shuntcasts?
That sounded a bit wrong.
There's so many.
No, what else?
Barring of Tombstone was pretty good.
Oh yeah. I think twice now.
Oh really?
Yeah, because Witch Doctor did it to him in season 1 of the reboot, and then who got him this year? Was it Paul?
Whitefall's got him.
Yeah. When Tombstone turned into this like that was crazy.
Oh, actually, I've got one because I'm going to troll Robert Cowan with this one. My favorite is Kronos versus Copperhead because it was a one-hit wonder, but it was just bang,
huge
done,
hit,
executed.
Yeah.
Anytime
Sana Waiachi nails somebody and they both go flying to basically the opposite ends of the 50-foot arena is pretty spectacular.
That is true.
Yes.
Okay, so the second award is the Salt Powered Robot Award. And it's basically your favorite moment that made you salty or you think made fans salty.
Oh my! Well, those aren't my favorite moments. Because I'm the one who has to answer all the fan mail. I literally answer every single piece of fan mail that comes to our email, and I'm polite and diplomatic and but man, people get mad at a lot of fights. There are usually duck fights. That's all. Of course, goes to the gruff Tombstone. That created so much anger and just fire and evilness just coming towards the judges. It was just like And honestly, I think Tombstone won it fair and square, based on the judges' point system, which can be changed, but that's the way it's written and that's the way it is. If you're wedging the whole damn fight and maybe 1.5 times you use your lifter to lift Tombstone, you're not going to get all your aggression points. You absolutely deserve to get some aggression points. Absolutely. Wedging gets you aggression points, but it's not going to get you all of them. You have to use your weapon effectively and aggressively to get the majority of those aggression points. And Gruff didn't do that until the very end, and he didn't really do any damage to Tombstone. Tombstone absolutely damaged Gruff. It was functional damage. It wasn't cosmetic. You go back and watch it. I will argue this out with anybody. But no, me. Everyone thinks Gruff should have won. They're all mad. They all hate me. But whatever.
I was one of the few people that actually thought that it was a fair decision. I was on Tombstone's side.
Yeah, no, and I honestly, I thought Gruff did fantastic, and Gruff is a great robot. Gruff was actually one of my most favorite robots from the last season. Absolutely love those guys, love what they brought, can't wait to see them again. But from a judge's decision standpoint, that was it. You know, whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, it was the right call. Get over it.
I want to say that I was on the side of Tombstone, but there's a Shuntcast that says differently, so I can't. No, it's just, yeah, Gruff was the hero of that fight, and plus, I just love the fact that it held up Tombstone in the air. And if a robot had big bollocks at that point, it was Gruff, right?
No, and I don't want to come across like I'm defending Tombstone or rooting for Tombstone. I thought Gruff was, again, fantastic and was absolutely the hero of that fight. I mean, kudos to Gruff all the way, but
absolutely,
the judge's decision was right.
They got an ovation when they came back in the pits, and it was so well deserved.
No, they totally deserved it.
Okay, so this is where your creative juices may have difficulty. We're on to the Shunty McShunt Post Award. So, is anything you find particularly memeable and or has brought you humor and enjoyment? So there you go.
Okay. There's probably a lot of them. I mean, any moment Will Bales looks at the camera or does something in front of the camera is not only dreamy but very memeable. Because he's just so, god dang television friendly and photogenic and all that. Oh. He's a handsome mofo.
Would you two like to know a wholesome story?
Yes,
it's actually semi-hilarious as well. So it's public knowledge that Hypershock is sponsoring Nelly. And there's a wholesome story leading up to it for another time, but there's this one bit I can tell you, and that's that basically when we'd sort of, got our sponsorship agreement in place, I almost cried because of his generosity and was like, I love you, and I promise never to post a mankini photo of you ever again. And his response was, no, you can't do that. My mum loves them.
Yes, exactly. Yes. No,
and it's great. His mum is on Shunt. Will's mum is on Shunt posting. Like,
Will's mom is fantastic. Will's mom and dad are fantastic. The Bales. They put Trey and I up in their very nice house in Florida when we used to do BattleBots IQ. They have a guest house, and we got to stay in that, and it was beautiful and super comfortable. It had nice pillows. It was great. I loved it. So thank you to the Bales family always.
I think we're gonna have to give Greg Shunty McShunt Post Award to Will Bales on this basis, Dale.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Right. Congratulations, Will Bales! Win Greg Munson Shunty McShunt Post Award. Okay, we got another little game for you here. This one's called Beat Defeat Judges. So it's kind of like Snog Marry Avoid, but robots. So you have your robot, which obviously it's you. It's La Machine. So you've got your robot, and you're up against Brutality, Nightmare, and Blacksmith. Now one of them you beat. One of them defeats you, and one of them goes to the judges.
Okay. Which one?
Right, so you got Brutality, Nightmare, and Blacksmith, and your robot is La Machine.
Okay, so Brutality. Wow, jeez. Okay. we would beat Nightmare. We'd flip Nightmare over. No problem.
Okay.
Done. What Brutality? It goes to the judges against Blacksmith because we would just go. So the whole time. And you know what? Blacksmith would win that one because La Machine is just a wedge.
Ooh.
And
you heard that out, Kindle.
We would absolutely get beaten by Brutality because that blade would slice right through that 6061 aluminum on La Machine and rip the rivets right out and probably get to the meaty bits of the speed controller that we handmade back in the day out of Bosch relays. And the robot is dead.
Oh, press F for La Machine.
Yeah.
F.
Okay, we're on to the favourite part of the Shuntcast. It's the member questions. Hear Greg's excitement from miles away. All right, Dale's going to kick us off.
I am. If La Machine returned to the modern day Battlebots, describe your team outfits.
I think we'd wrap ourselves in tinfoil and then spray each other down in like Pam, which is this liquid you used to spray in the 70s on your pan because they didn't have nonstick pans then, so you'd spray this horrible aerosol spray on it, so your scrambled eggs would come right off the pan. We would just like cover ourselves in tinfoil and spray each other down with Pam. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, with really shiny like Adidas shoes or something.
That sounds
Weird.
terrifying. You can maybe guess who this question came from. Here we go. I understand that you are a very accomplished musician and can play many instruments. Have you ever played the skin flute, and do you prefer it with or without the shield?
I don't know who wrote that one. No, I've always been a horrible skin flute player. It's just I don't know how to finger the instrument. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't work for me for some reason.
Would you like to know who submitted that question?
No.
Oh,
Tell me.
One of your co-producers. Okay.
Okay.
It was one of your co-producers.
Oh, was that Mr. Abrahamson?
Oh, it was Mr. Abrahamson. I totally did not message him and go, Greg's on the Shuntcast. Send an anonymous question using this form.
If you could have any robot from Robot Wars which isn't already coming onto the show, which would it be?
Robot Wars.
Yes.
Mhm.
Razor. I want Razor to come back. Yeah, Razor. I know it's sort of an obvious answer, but I love those guys, and they haven't been there in a while, and would love them to come back. And in the days of these crushers getting better and better, I think Razor could come back, and Razor 3.0, as it were.
The fanboys would literally spoil themselves in an unspeakable place.
Yeah, we had Razor back in the second, what was it, the pay-per-view or whatever we did in Las Vegas. And yeah, the problem is Razor got a shitty fight. He had to fight Stephen Phelps' robot, which was just basically a brick of aluminum, and so Razor couldn't pierce into it. So Razor deserves a better chance, a better go at BattleBots.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Another sensible question. What do you think Will Bale smells like?
Strawberries and champagne.
Okay.
Oh dear. Robert Cowan would like to know, when are those unsafe switches going to be outlawed?
As opposed to the links.
Yes.
Yeah, when I see those debates on Facebook, I just keep scrolling.
I used to, but it's become a thing that Robert Cowan and I troll each other over it, and it's so wholesome. It's lovely.
And everyone should watch Robert Cowan's excellent YouTube videos, by the way.
This question may also have come or may have not come from Pete. Why is Pam cooking spray really your favorite lubricant?
See, Pete is just trolling the whole thing. Because it looks so good when you wrap yourself up in tinfoil. It gives it that sheen that the cameras really pick up on.
That La Machine.
That La Machine, exactly.
Oh dear.
I love it. We have the 30-second commercial ready to go.
Get your jacket, Sarah. That's ridiculous. La Machine. That's ridiculous.
We can start a whole beauty line of products. La Machine. Whoosh. We did the mammoth video to help us make a commercial. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Next question. If you could have BattleBots do a crossover with another TV show, what would it be?
Naked and Afraid.
I knew he was going to say that.
It's just like the low-hanging fruit of stupid jokes. Honestly, I would love to do it with Robot Wars, right?
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be the way to go?
US?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fantastic.
Ooh, I would. Oh, goodness. The salt, though. The rivalry. Oh goodness, social media would explode.
That's the great part. The saltier, the better. It'll be so much fun. One day we'll do it.
Media would explode. What bribes are you accepting for teams to A, get on the show, B, get favourable editing, and C, win judges' decisions?
I really love snacks. So during production, I always get hungry, and people who bring me snacks, seem to win giant nuts.
Would you say you could call yourself Greg MUNSOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO Oh dear.
Oh god.
Off the top of my head, that one. There we go.
Oh,
Pretty good, pretty good. I like it. I was never called that in school. It's a good one.
Anyway, next question. How big is Trey's noodle?
It's I don't know.
Would you need a banana for scale?
Next question, please.
yes. What is the quantum entanglement definition of a verifiable constant that results in a certain next week?
Yeah, that is a multiple phone calls and emails with various members of production trying to get to the bottom of when certain things will actually happen, handicapping them with enough buffer so I might actually estimate the time when such thing will actually happen, because I know certain things are said that they will happen on X, but they wind up happening on X plus 7. And then what happens is it always winds up being next week. But then, of course, in the world of production, next week turns into the week after next week, or the week after next week. So, yeah. But I'm sick of that joke. I'm sick of that joke because I really do try to give accurate, representations of when X, Y, and Z are going to happen, so the builders know. And sometimes, a lot of times, shit happens and the dates move. So you guys can tease me all you want about it, but I'm just trying.
I mean, that was a good answer, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh dear. Next question. Which robot most surpassed your expectations last year?
Hydra. So, everyone sends in beautiful renderings, very detailed schematics in their applications, right? And the Waiachi guys just sent basically a wireframe of this robot called Hydra. And we're like, what? You got to send us more than that. Nah, don't worry, it'll be fine. And they show up with it, and it was freaking amazing. It was awesome. Of course, we did see that video of it launching. I forget what it was, a 200-pound weight, almost as high as a basketball net, or actually above the basketball net. But that was just the test platform, it wasn't the robot. And then when it showed up, and I walked out to the Waiachi van with Jake and saw it, and Rich Stuplich, and saw how well it looked and the cool paint job and I was like, oh, dude, it was awesome. And then it actually worked and kicked butt. That was my most impressive robot from last season.
It's so shiny.
Yeah, it's very good.
This is more of a request, I think, rather than a question, but it says, could you please do an entire episode dedicated to Sharkoprian during Shark Week this time, please?
I would love to, right? That would be great. We have to talk to Discovery.
Okay.
But I think Sharkoprian should be all over Shark Week. It should just go on it shouldn't be a Battlebots episode, right? Battlebots goes on a nice little vacation during Shark Week. Which is actually great, because that's when I can actually take a summer vacation and not sit in front of the computer doing social media for Battlebots. But what Discovery should do is take Sharkoprian and put it on every single other one of their shows during Shark Week. It should be on Naked and Afraid. It should be on Gold Rush. It should be on Deadliest Catch, right? Come on. You pull up the net and then the Sharkoprian plops out on the deck and starts fighting around. That's what I want to see happen.
How hard is it telling an entrant from a previous season that they didn't make it in this time?
Oh, it's actually one of the worst things ever. Yeah, that's one of the more unfun parts of the job, is telling not just the entrants, but people who've obviously put a ton of work into applying for Battlebots. No, sorry. There's limited space. Da 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 da. It's X, Y, and Z. You can't. You're not in this season. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This is why my beard is prematurely gray.
Well, according to your Skype photo, you haven't got one, Munson.
Oh yeah, look at that. I see that. That's an old one. Yeah.
He admitted it. Brian Narve would like to know, with the emergence of the Me Too movement, how is Battlebots protecting its builders and crew?
Oh, Jesus.
I am the queen of trolls, Greg.
Just read the player's agreement. Done.
Where do I find that?
Everything you signed. Have you signed it yet? The pickup letter.
Oh, I have. Yes, actually. Yes, there was behavior guidelines.
All of that stuff has been dealt with by the attorneys, and it's all in that participants agreement. So have yourself a little snack and go read that, and there you go.
That is true. There were behavior guidelines. There we go.
But, in seriousness, we want everyone to be cool, and most 99.99% of all the robot builders are cool and support and help each other. And all the robot builders come from different political backgrounds. We've got the most liberals of liberals and the most staunchest conservatives. And in the pit, they all get together. They help each other out. They get along. They have arguments online about stuff, but they're still friends. So I think that's something really awesome about our community. And if someone steps out of line and is rude or a jerk to someone else in the pit, we'll take care of them.
This is true.
Tim wants to know if his Monsoon Raw wasn't your message alert, what would you have him raw instead?
Oh.
La Machine!
Yeah, no, La Machine would be great. La Machine would be great. Or like mac and cheese.
Okay, so Tim, you're taking requests now. Can you do these recordings for us so that Greg can have them as a ringtone? And me, and Dale.
Yeah, no, he's my text message alert. So when I get a text message, it goes, Monsoon.
Yes, I still have that. And I have Farouk as my ringtone still.
Well, when you got that, I saw that immediately. And then I messaged Farouk and say, I need that too. So I have it as well. In fact, just go ahead and call my phone.
Wait. Hold on. That's not true. You got it off me.
Oh, no, you're right. That's right. You gave it to me. That's right. Yes, thank you.
It was the first time I ever talked to you because I posted it on Shunt Posting and then you messaged me and said, oh, hey, I totally need that ringtone. Send it to me.
Yes. And
that was literally our introduction.
Thank you for clarifying. And to this day, it is still my message machine. And I you know, people turn down their like ringtone so they're not embarrassed in public. Mm-hmm. I turn mine all the way up.
Oh, God.
And when it goes off like on the BART train or something, I just let it go. I wait for like the third ring to answer the phone because I just want people to hear it.
Do you want me to phone you? I will phone you. Hold on. Well, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love that so much.
There we go. We did it. And Skype. Yay.
I love that ringtone.
Yes. Right, where are we? Okay, next question. Why did you cover up the fact that Helichopper clearly won the Giant Nut in 2019?
Because a Helichopter is actually I can't even talk. It is a robot built by the government, and it's from outer space. And we were told. This is going to be a really bad science fiction story. We were told by the aliens not to reveal because it has advanced technology using ropes. You can cut that part out.
So it's basically like the Berg from Battlebots.
Poor Helichopper. That robot was super cool, and you know everyone's still mad about that.
I'm mad because he slagged off my robot.
I want Helichopper to come back. I mean, I think it would be awesome. He tested it numerous times in the arena, and it just didn't work.
It set on fire, didn't it?
I forget. I was running around. At one point, it sucked up some of the tarps that the painter was using to paint the Battlebots, the Union painter, and that didn't help things. That was a catastrophe. And then I think another time it just caught on fire by itself. But yeah, that was bad.
I want it to come on BattleBots because the builder trash talked my robot, and I'm gonna solve it like a civilized roboteer. See me in the arena, bitch.
No. Right. Ella Chopper, if you're listening, do come back to BattleBots. We love you and we miss you. Everyone wants to see that robot kick ass. So I don't know what everyone thinks happened or didn't happen, but it doesn't matter. It's water under the bridge. Come back and fight.
If you're listening, Helichopper, you heard Mr. Munson yourself. Right, there we go. Dale, next question.
Yes, next question. If you could drive any of the robots from the 2019 season, which one would it be?
Ooh, I would like to drive Nelly.
Oh,
I want to try out the hammer and bonk things, basically.
oh, now there's an issue there because you have to drive or bonk because they're separate.
Oh, I can't. Can't you give me both remotes? You drive. You guys drive. I'll bonk.
Okay, I'll drive. You bonk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's
Greg
agreed. What's your best advice for dealing with trolls? Not me. I'm fucking lovely.
Most of them I completely ignore because there's no talking to them. They just are set in their ways, and they completely will just argue till the ones I find the funniest are the conspiracy theory ones who think BattleBots is some giant corporation run by people in black robes around a fire
or tinfoil suits,
and they're all billionaires and they just have nothing but cash, and it's just like and everything's a giant conspiracy. It's hilarious. So
get your pan cooking spray ready.
I've got down with those people, and it just goes on, and it just is stupid. So I ignore 99.9% of it.
I remember a bit of advice that you gave me, actually.
What did I do? I didn't do that. What?
You told me when it was salty fanboys, particularly the misogynistic type of salty fanboys, that I should look at their profiles, and it works. Oh my goodness, it works.
No, that if anyone's ever trolling you on social media, just dive into their personal profile page, check out their lifestyle, their photos, and 90% of the time you will just feel like, oh, I feel sorry for that person. It humanizes them. You can see where they're coming from. You can see, half the time they have some sort of tragedy in their life, and or it's obvious that life is not going so great for them. And so they're pissed off and they're mad. And, you have to have a bit of sympathy and understanding for those people, as much as they piss us all off. But, a lot of them are just lonely.
Or you can have a bit of a giggle.
Or you can have a bit of a giggle. That's right. I'm trying to be nice, but yeah, it's mostly about having a bit of a giggle.
Anyway, my last question for you is, if any robot in the entire history of robot fighting was made into a god, who would you like it to be?
A god.
Or goddess for the ladybots.
Yes.
Inclusive here.
Yes. Spiny Norman. Because you can imagine, Spiny Norman's an old robot. Spiny Norman down from the mountain, like this Greek god with just spikes all over it. But no, people don't know Spiny Norman. So from who would you guys think from the new show?
From the new show.
The obvious answer is
Nelly, obviously.
The obvious
I did not
answer
pay him to say that.
It's sort of like Tombstone is the obvious answer because Ray is so such a force.
No. Tombstone is Satan.
Well, but yeah, an evil god, right?
Okay, I can roll with that.
A
malevolent one.
Yes. But who would be a benevolent god? I don't know. Let's think.
Chomp,
yeah. No, I think Al Kindle. I think it's kind of like Thor, right? Blacksmith. You just see, Al coming out of the clouds.
I don't know. I don't think Al would want the responsibility. Oh, but he'd be the ultimate judge. It'd be like the ultimate karma.
Well, you just see that classic photo of him with his arms crossed, looking sort of miffed. He's just, judging humanity with his arms crossed, looking miffed. Like, goddamn.
That photo is known as Grumpy Al. It
Grumpy Al.
It has its own title now.
It literally is. Called that, yes.
It literally is called that. Right, my final question for you. If you had a BattleBots rock band, who would be in it?
Ooh, well, okay, I'm being serious now. Adam Burku would be on the drums because he's a great drummer.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a joke answer. This is a serious answer because I know some of the musicianship in the group. I don't know all of it, so if I'm leaving people out, I apologize. Mark DeVitz would be on keyboards because he's very good at keyboards.
Ice Wave.
I would of course be on guitar.
Uh-huh.
Mark Satrakian would somehow be involved. He'd probably be the producer or musical director of the whole thing, and then play some evil percussion instrument.
Uh-huh.
Peter Abramson would just emote. He wouldn't sing, but he would just run around stage like a Danny Elfman, emoting, like showing like big giant emotions and waving his hands in the air. Trey would be on background vocals, singing like he's in the choir of a church. And then I have no idea who the bass player would be. Sarah, I heard you can sing, so maybe you have to be in this band.
Okay, can I have Tim Rackers as well, and we can be a power metal band?
Okay, yeah. No, we need a bass player. So yeah, Tim with some giant axe.
Oh, Daddy Brewster. Daddy Brewster is a bass player.
Okay, all right. He's in.
Okay.
Done. But don't you think Tim with a giant axe bass? I mean, Brewster can play it, but
I don't think he can play an instrument.
it doesn't matter. He just has to play this giant axe and go dun 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 dun.
That's a damning indictment to bassists there, Greg.
No, it is.
Bassists.
It's a promotion for how awesome Tim would look with this giant frickin', axe bass.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this happen, by the way.
Yes.
Keep an eye on Shunt Posted. I'm making it happen.
Aren't there other British guitar players, though? Aren't there a lot of the bot players?
Let me think. I think Dave Moles can play guitar. I'm not sure.
I think that's right. Something like that, yeah.
Oh, Will Bale's on ukulele.
Yeah, no, 100%. You got to get Will in there somehow.
Yeah, we need him for the panache. Come on.
Yeah.
But
Adam Burku from the old days. What the hell was his robot called? The one with the guns? Brutus. That dude is a great drummer. He's really good.
You could say you can't beat him. Drum beat. Oh dear.
I mean, just any roboteer who has a drum spinner should be on drums, right?
If you're doing the fantasy one, then of course, yes, of course. You're gonna have
Minotaur on drums and vocals.
Daniel Freitas on background vocals and drums.
Yes. Daniel Freitas, chief death screamer.
Exactly.
Well, we've run out of members' questions, I'm afraid, Greg, and that also means it's the end of the Shuntcast.
Oh, well, sad. Now I'm going to go have a bowl of cereal and then answer about 15,000 emails.
I'm sorry if I'm one of them. Do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to give out before we go, Greg?
Shout out to all the robot builders building for season 2020. It should be awesome. Shipping date is looming, of course, so everyone should get their practice time in before they screw those little screws down on the crate if they can. And then safe travels to Battlebots in Long Beach. And a shout out to Eventbrite, which is selling tickets to Battlebots. So if you're listening to this and you have not bought tickets yet, and you're in or able to get to the Long Beach area April 3rd through the 15th, buy some damn tickets. BattlebotsTickets.com.
Go and see it live. It's so much noisier and it's amazing.
Yes, it's amazing.
It's like seeing car wrecks in front of you. That's what the noise sounds like. It's like being in the presence of a car wreck.
Now, when you see the thing on TV, it's exciting, it's great, we all love it. But when you're there live, it is like a magnitude more intense and insane. You smell it, you feel it. The bleachers rumble when Tombstone hits something. It's incredible. Yeah.
It is. It really is. Do it.
Do it.
Crew shout out to all the underpaid staff, whoever they are on the crew, everyone, the catering, the toilet cleaners, everyone.
Yes, all the PA. Those are the PAs. Yes, we love the PAs.
All of the unsung heroes.
Shout out to Jax, of course.
Of course, Jax.
Builders, logistical action. Shout out to Mr. Aaron Catling, our wonderful showrunner. Shout out to Chris and Tom and Trey, the other executive producers. Shout out to Troy, who is literally running the whole damn production, and his staff. There's so many of them.
And
Now
Will
I got to name
Bales
everybody.
for being awesome and for being Will Bales.
Will, yeah, always shout out to Will. Exactly.
Can you tell that Nelly is now sponsored by Hypershock by how many Hypershock references I have made in this totally not Hypershock sponsored podcast?
I got your logos from, and I approved them.
When he sent me the logo, I was in love. I could have wept.
No, that little endorsement logo looks fantastic.
It's amazing, and I love it.
Yeah, people will see it when it goes on TV.
Be still my beating heart.
Are you going to put it on your wardrobe?
Oh yeah, we're going to be fully kitted out in Hypershock sponsorship. Will has been very generous with his sponsorship towards us, and we're going full Hypershock love. There will be memes. The memes are going to write themselves at this point, honestly, with Hypershock sponsoring Nelly. But there we go. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of the Shuntcast. So it's goodbye from Dale.
Bye-bye.
It's goodbye from Greg Munson.
Bye-bye.
And it's goodbye from the Queen. Goodbye.